This is Bryan Insurance, by the way. Sonia and Brad from Bryan Insurance, almost celebrating 100 years.
Getting closer.
Getting close.
You guys look good for 100 years.
What's the actual anniversary date? Do y'all know that?
Well, 100 years ago when it opened.
I know, but
what's the exact date?
Do you have an exact date? Like I can tell you, we signed on in 2016 at 10 o'clock on November the 19th.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can find out.
I have no idea.
Make something up. Make something up. No one's going to check.
Tuesday, June 13th.
Got it.
At 12 p.m.
Okay, you're going to go with
Senior Pat Bryan Sr. signed the documents.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm sure there's paperwork somewhere around the office that we could actually
We do
find
have
out.
the original sign from 1921, though.
Do you really?
Yes.
Where's it at?
It's hanging up in the back wall next to all the other family photos of the Pat Bryan clan.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Very
So
neat.
it's a little glass plaque that has Pat Bryan Insurance painted on it. So.
Do you have any employees that were there before your dad took over?
Ooh.
The only ones, Cindy and your dad started the same year. I'm not
Yes.
sure who was first.
Okay.
I don't know, but I know Cindy and Dad were together.
But they started
so.
the same year. So
And what a coincidence having the same last name and not being related.
As far as we know, we're not, but
Yeah.
we like to say that we're distant cousins. So.
Sure.
Now, the cool one that was hired was Sonia. She was hired the same week I was born.
yes, I was.
Oh, did you have to babysit him too?
No, Rick did.
Rick did?
Oh, that explains a lot. Okay, now I know why he's the way he is.
There we go.
Okay, now
Whenever-
there we go.
How old were you probably when Rick would work for the agency and he would take y'all around?
I don't know, 6 or 7,
Yeah.
maybe.
That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you want to say is this is family. then.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right.
So what's the tip today?
Yes.
Well, we're going to talk about gap insurance, and first of all, I just kind of want to explain a little bit about what that is. I think most people know, but on a standard auto policy, if you have a wreck or damage to your vehicle, your policy is only going to pay the actual cash value. It's never going to pay more than the actual cash value less your deductible. So in other words, depreciation factor goes in.
Right.
Now
So if you're
there's
paying off your car for like 5 years and something happens and you total your car after a year, your car might not be worth what you still owe
Exactly.
on that car. So you are going to be responsible for that.
Exactly. If you don't have, there are some companies that have replacement cost coverage and different bells and whistles, but the typical standard auto policy, you're just going to get the actual cash value less the deductible.
Right.
So that's, like you said, where gap insurance comes in. If you have a gap between what you get from your insurance settlement if you have a total loss and what you owe.
Yeah, I've used gap insurance.
Oh, yeah?
So here's the deal. I never bought gap insurance. It was always offered to me when I purchased a vehicle, and I never bought it. One time, we went in to purchase a vehicle. My wife and I were both on the note, and so we took turns because our youngest was very young, and we were playing with her in the little playroom at the dealership, and so we took turns signing the papers. Well, he asked me, do you want gap? And I said, no, do not want gap. Well, this unscrupulous person, my wife came in and said, your husband said he wants gap insurance on this. And he sold it to her and put it on the policy. And I didn't notice it, and we went and finished everything up. I was really angry when I found out about it. 3 months later, my truck was stolen out of my driveway.
Oh, wow.
And not only did that gap insurance cover the negative equity on that, but I rolled in another car deal negative equity. I absolutely am thrilled about that car dealer that did that. But I tell you, the insurance company had a lot of questions for me. Have you ever bought gap insurance before? No. This is the first time you did it? Yeah. And your car was stolen 3 months after you bought it? Yes.
How much did you pay for that gap insurance?
A grand total?
Mm-hmm.
By the time I got paid off on it, I think I maybe paid $18 total because I only made.
No, but when they sold it to you, what did they?
Oh, they sold it. Oh, it was ridiculously cheap. I want to say it was like $150 for the entire life of the loan.
Interesting, because I'll tell you now that the reason why we brought this up is because one of our agents, it's one of her biggest pet peeves when it comes to dealerships and gap insurance. So the state law in Texas states that gap insurance from a dealership, they can charge up to 5% of the loan amount.
Whoa.
So with that said, if you're talking a $20,000 sale, they can charge up to $1,000 for gap insurance. Now that's the law. They cannot charge any more than that. Now most banks will won't allow you to sell more than 80 to 85% of the value of the vehicle
Right.
for gap insurance. Okay, that makes more sense. But here's the crazy thing is, the average cost from a dealership is anywhere from $4.99 to $6.99 for gap insurance. It's a single cost. They sell it to you, they move on. Now, what they do is they like to put that in the note.
Right.
So now it's accruing interest. So by the time the loan is over, you're looking at close to $1,000 for that policy.
So what do you guys? If I was to buy gap insurance from you guys, what would that
So
cost?
when I was researching all this,
Mhm.
I went to my agent, Lynette, and I said, hey, I know I have replacement costs on my car, but I need a quote for gap insurance. And so she said, okay, well, I already had it on my policy. For me, on my Jeep, $14 a year.
That's great.
So if you're looking at similar, we're talking $70 for the life of my loan
Yeah.
versus close to $600.
So
If
I've paid double what I should have paid for
More than
mine,
likely.
yeah.
So that's one of those things that you need to be aware of. It's a wonderful coverage. I recommend it to anybody that has a loan for at least the first few year models
Right.
of your vehicle. Now, with that said, you really need to look at the value of what your insurance company that has your auto policy is offering you versus what the dealership offers you, because it is definitely a money maker for them and they will push it.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I think after having talked to you guys just a week after week and figuring out what you guys good tips, I'm not sure. When I purchased my last vehicle, I called my insurance guy because I wanted to make sure that I was doing the right thing with the right stuff. That's what you guys are here for, is to give information to your customers. And I every week I learn something new about something I did not know that I should be buying gap insurance though from my agent as opposed to through the dealership.
Now,
Right.
we will say that every auto carrier, they don't all offer it,
Right.
but a lot do. And I'm the dummy. I'm with the same company Brad's with, and I paid $800 for gap insurance on my Mustang.
Really?
I didn't know that. Didn't even ask about
Yeah.
adding it to
Well,
my
you know why
policy.
they're doing that, because they're basically upselling it, because
Oh, yeah,
they're
they're
the
making
ones.
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're also the finance company in
Right.
a lot of.
But I didn't even
cases.
think I wasn't with that same company whenever when I first bought the car, and they didn't offer it. But I didn't even think about it. You know. So
How do we get a hold of you?
I want to throw one more thing
Oh,
in.
sure. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And we'll probably talk about this more next week in detail. But we do know that the whole community is being affected by COVID-19 and also by the price of oil. There's tough times out there, and a lot of insurance companies are offering special endorsements. Maybe, they're doing things to help. Some of them are refunding premiums for auto because people aren't driving, refunding part of the premium. But the point is, if you're having trouble paying for your insurance, business or personal, call your agent and see if there's something. I'm not promising that they can do something, but they might be able to.
Right.
So reach out. Okay. So
Oh,
how
very
you get?
good.
How you get?
All right, how do we get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of us at 940-549-2525.
You had the number for
Yeah, I was like, I almost said my cell number. Or you can come visit us on the web at brianins.com. I would say you come by our office, but our front doors are still locked.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Smart move.
Yeah, everything's locked up over there. All right, 33 minutes. So you have the obituary report.